What were you the god of again?
Hello everyone, this is God of Crits. I'm Eric, and today we're going to be doing a long-awaited video of homebrew hunting. So this is going to be more of an unedited version of it. I'm trying something new, so let's get into it. So as you can see, I'm using D&D Wiki, like always, and we're going to be going over monsters. Alright. And we're going to be looking at all CR1 monsters this time. So the first one is a Glowl. So the Glowl is a man-sized bioluminescent bat that lives in deep caves and hunts at night. The green glow of their body is caused by millions of tiny microorganisms swimming in their bloodstream, which emit light when nervous system of the Glowl informs them to. The glow is used to lure animals in, although this tactic does not work that well on intelligent creatures. The Glowl is also quad-optic, and thus has 4 eyes in its head, each of which can be independently controlled. Alright, so they are a large, glowing, or human-sized glowing bat. Alright, now let's look at the stats of these. So CR1, 13 AC, a little low, but for CR1 that's manageable. Hit points is just 22. It's about average, I think. Blind sight 120. For a bat that makes sense, but also for CR1 that can be pretty strong, especially if lower level parties tries to spice things up. They get some echolocation. Yeah, that's where they get their blind sight from. They can't have blind sight when deafened. That makes sense. And they shed light, which makes sense because of how glowing they are, like how they put that in there. And they have keen hearing and sight, so they have advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing or sight. They are bats. They do live in caves and whatnot, so it makes sense that their perception is very good since they gotta go out at night. Now let's look at their actions. They got bite and claw. Both are decently good damage. 2d6 plus 3 for bite, and 2d10 plus 3 for claw. Both a plus 5 to hit. That seems around average, maybe a little bit high, that 2d10 one. But then again, their AC is decently low, so I think it balanced it out. I think this monster is a really well-rounded creature. The blind sight makes sense for the bat, but I would consider it pretty strong for a CR1. So I would give this an 8.5. Alright, now let's go to the next one. Gible. Okay, this is a Pokemon. Alright, don't sue me, Pokemon, if I'm going to use this. There's no description of it, but there's a picture. As you can see, it's a small rock type creature. It's a tiny dragon, it says. Alright, it's got a 15 armor, 54 hit points. Now, for a CR1, I don't know if you're too familiar, but 54 hit points is very high for any CR1 monster. Their stats seem to be good. They have a 25 movement and 25 burrow, which, from the looks of it, looks like they could burrow. And let's look at it. It's got dark vision, draconic language, understands common but does not speak. Now does it speak draconic? I don't know. As a DM, I would say they don't speak draconic, but that's just me. They don't seem like they are intelligent enough. Although they do have a +1 intelligence, so maybe. All right, let's look at their abilities here. So while in sandy terrain, the Gible has advantage on Dex, stealth checks, and can take the hide action as a bonus action. I do like that when monsters have bonus actions. I think that it keeps the DMs on their feet, but it does definitely give another layer to the monster. Now let's look at the action here. Sand attack. +5 to hit, melee weapon attack, 1 bludgeoning damage. Okay, it's very low. Lowest I think you can do. If the target is a creature, must succeed a DC 12 con saving throw or be blinded for 1 minute. Oh, okay. So the blinding condition is decently strong, especially on lower level parties. The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. Okay, DC 12 isn't too hard to overcome. I would think of this monster as more of a cannon fodder. You throw it in, you throw a few Gibles in when you throw in a young adult dragon. No, a young adult dragon doesn't make sense. A young bronze dragon or something of the sorts. Just to get in there, take some hits, throw out some sand attacks and blind some enemies. The hit points does seem very high for a CR1. This could almost be a I would always say CR2, maybe probably not CR3 just because of the damage, but overall I think this is sort of a poor monster here, but it is Pokemon based. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. Now for the last one is a T-Dragon. This has got a photo as well. Nice T-Dragon there. Very Asian. T-Dragons are a noble race of serpentine eastern dragons that live in seclusion for most of their lives. Within their mountain lairs, they grow many herbs and leaves, which the dragons drink at least 3 gallons each day. The tea they drink is used as a calming fluid for meditation and other light activities. Usually drinking 3 teas, T-Dragons hold the hottest cups lowest. Okay. Yeah, I can see. The illustration does show that with more steam coming up. Okay. So they have time to cool properly for drinking. Makes sense. So they seem pretty smart, at least in the world of tea. T-Dragons are covered in colorful feathers and hairs. The use for these colors unknown. Most believe that they attract the butterflies that are commonly seen around T-Dragons, as they may help in calming for meditation as well. Alright, I do like the illustration here. It does give you a pretty good visual. Very fey looking. Now, let's look at the actual stats here. So it's a medium dragon, another dragon. AC is 13, hit points is 35, which is more realistic for a CR1. 30 feet walking, 30 climbing, and 60 flying. For a dragon, that would be, that's pretty normal. And with the 4 arms, the climbing thing makes sense. The stats are actually pretty good. That's a +5 wisdom, +4 intelligence, +4 con. And the saving throws are pretty hefty as well. Immunity to poison and some conditions. Alright, let's look at the actions. It can identify other creatures' weaknesses and resistances through drinking tea and meditation. Okay, so it just has a psychic link and can tell. It's got a bite and a claw, both dealing not very, but decently low damage. I would say about average for a CR1. Now, I like this dragon a lot. I like how their dragon lair, which is usually very spooky and evil, is just a bunch of tea. It's very zen, as you would say. I do like this monster. I feel like the monster would be better as a CR 6+ with lair actions involving the tea and possibly butterflies as well. But for what it is, I like it. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5. Alright, and now that wraps up my 3 homebrew hunting monsters that I found this time. I just want you to go check out D&D Wiki. It's a really good tool. I use it all the time for anything homebrew. It's got races, classes, as you saw, monsters, and they even have some one-shots and maps for you to use for Dungeon Masters and players. So yeah, just check that out, and also don't forget to check out our other videos and our Discord channel, which will be linked below. And that's pretty much it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.